Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Heather McCarthy, and in today's video I'm going to be showing two different ways to do a portfolio, two different ways that I have considered doing it for next year, and then I'm going to tell you which one I've decided to maintain for my kindergarten year next year. Alright, so as I said, today's video is all about portfolios. So I have two options I'm going to show you today. I have weighed doing each of these like back and forth multiple times in my brain. So for a little preface, we live in Florida. My daughter is 4 and doing a Becca's kindergarten starting in July. But because of her age, we are not required to keep records or declare ourselves as homeschoolers in the state of Florida. And to be completely honest, I would not be required to announce my daughter as a homeschooler until she's 7 in the state of Florida, because it's the year that they turn 6 by February 1st. So she would be almost 7 before I would have to declare her. So I do not have to keep a portfolio, so this might not be perfect, and I recommend everyone look up your state laws because Florida is, in my opinion, pretty lenient and pretty easy. So this would cover my Florida state laws, but I don't know if it would cover New York's laws or Virginia's laws or California's laws. And the reason I am keeping a portfolio at all, even though I don't have to return it to the state, is one, just to keep a track of record of what we have done. Two, if we do move, my husband is military, we are a military family. If we move, I want to have some CYA for like, we did kindergarten, we didn't just skip it. Just CYA that we've done the schooling that we have done, so that if we move, people can't question me. I can be like, bam, here's your proof. I don't know, having lived this lifestyle for a while and having worked in federal government, I just have a really CYA mindset. And I think I will always have it. So I just like to do things to prepare, and this isn't hard. So I'd rather do it than not do it and be prepared. So the first option I am going to show you is a manual or written option. And this is super simple. This is why I debated doing this, was because it is so easy. So this is my Plum Paper Homeschool Planner. This is my one for this year. I did get one for next year that I will be showing y'all in the near future. I ordered it and I'm gonna show you how I set up my school year, but this is specifically the homeschool planner. Like, it is labeled as the homeschool planner in their teacher planners. And because of that, it has this special homeschool tab in the back. Mine's red. I don't know if they're all red. I highly doubt they're all red, but it just says homeschool on the tab. And in here, there are so many things that would work for your portfolio. So I'm going to put this down on the table, turn the camera around, and show it to you because this is option number 1. So like I said, this is option number 1. It is all in the back of the Plum Paper Planner. And it starts with your students' goals. Here you can list your student's name, their grade, and their goals for the year. You can also list your teacher's goals. As you can see, I did not use any of this for this year. And I probably still will not use this page. Honestly, I don't love this page. And I don't love this page in any of my Plum Paper Planners. Here you have your year at a glance. So here's where I personally would write down any field trips that we went on, any big events that we did, volunteer activities, anything like that, I would personally write in here to keep track of for my portfolio. So say in July, we went to St. Augustine and toured a pirate ship because we're learning about pirates in July, which we totally are this summer. I would simply write in here, you know, the date and then St. Augustine Pirates, and just do that for whatever field trips we use. I would also use this to track our mini units. So I would write down the mini units that we're doing and the dates that either they're started or completed, and write them into the different months. The next page is your classroom resources. So I would use this as kind of a curriculum list. And I don't know how many states require this. I know Florida does not require it, but I would do it just in case, just to CYA. Like I said, I'm a CYA queen. So classroom list, I would just write down each subject, the core curriculum you're using, maybe make a solid heavy line, And then list below it any websites or different resources that you used, different videos off Hoopla or documentaries that you watched, movies, anything like that. I would just list here. So you have a list of what you used for your curriculum. In Virginia, I do know that this is not required to show exactly what you use, but it is required that you give them a list of subjects. Personally, I would just give them a list of curriculum. I don't know. I know people say don't do more than the law requires, and I know that's a really big mindset in the homeschool community. But I also have no qualms sharing what I did if I know that I'm doing it. So that's up to you. But I would definitely do this and include it as part of my portfolio. The government never sees your portfolio in most states, or at least the states that I am familiar with. This would simply go to your reviewer. So I would just have a list of what we used and the different videos, resources, etc. that we used. This is all about money. I don't know that I would personally use this section. We do not keep a strict homeschool budget. I have never really seen the need to. I haven't had to buy anything ridiculous outside of our curriculum so far. But if you do want to keep a strict budget of what you spent on, you know, administrative items or arts and crafts supplies or whatever, this is in here for you, and you can just track your expenses for the year. Or if you are being reimbursed, I know some co-ops reimburse. This would probably be a good tracking sheet for that, but we're not a part of anything like that. This is the part that really I thought was wicked cool. This is an attendance sheet. So here you can keep your attendance. It has all 31 days for each month. It goes straight across if you can't tell. And you would just check off that your student was in class or not in class, obviously weekends and whatnot, holidays. And at the end, you would just total it up and make sure you have the correct amount of days for whatever your state requires. Florida does not have a date requirement, but I do plan on keeping attendance in case we move to a state that does. So this I thought was really cool, really easy way to make it. I've been trying to make those little square like school calendars on my own, and that's a pain in the butt, to be completely honest. So I liked that this was all done out for me, and all you have to do is like twink, 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 and be done. The next one is a reading log. This is required in Florida, I believe. So just the title, a book list, author, minutes read, just your daily reading log. I like that that was in here. And then you also have a daily activity log. So you could list any experiments, or it says extracurricular activities, sports, anything like that. You could list over here, Girl Scouts, stuff like that. I would list all that as educational over here. Then you have a couple pages for a grading log, which I do this digitally personally. So I would not use this part, but it is cool. It's in here if you want to keep a paper copy of your grades. And then in the back there is a field trip log, which I actually did not even know this was here when I said put your field trips in the other part. This is really cool. You can put your field trips in here. So there's that. And then at the end, you have a year in review page, and that's it. In order to make this a full portfolio, because obviously this is just like the checklist, paperwork part of a portfolio, I personally would also keep pieces of your students' work. It's however much you deem it just has to show progress, at least in the state of Florida. So I would take maybe every 20 lessons, take a lesson or take a worksheet or take some tests out of your students' work. And personally, I would either put them in a 3-ring binder, or I would spiral them, turn them over to your evaluator with your planner. So here you have pretty much your teacher lessons, right? You have your lesson plan because you have your whole planner. In the back, you have all the other stuff that's required. You have your book list, you have your curriculum list, you have your attendance, and then you have your samples of work, and just hand all that in together. And that is a great physical portfolio that would fully satisfy, at least in my opinion, the Florida state homeschool laws. But now I'm going to show you what I actually plan on doing. Okay, so what I actually plan on using, because I decided, sorry, my microphone's all tangled. I decided I did not want it all in paper. As I said, we move a lot. So I decided I didn't want it in a physical product that I would have to like just pray didn't get lost every time we move, or that I would have to like hand carry from one location to another. I decided to do something digital so that I could just PDF it and hand it over. So the next one will be on my iPad. This is an iPad Air something, I don't know what's green. I have the iPad pencil for it. And I will link this down below if you guys don't have an iPad or want one or don't know where to buy one, although I'm pretty sure everyone knows where to buy one. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you what is in my iPad and what I plan on doing here. Okay, today I have my digital homeschool portfolio that I made. So this is in GoodNotes on my iPad, as I already showed you. And this is what I have created. I have blocked out some of the more personal information, and I will just show this to you. So this is our kindergarten year for 2022 and 2023. This was pretty simple. I just made some banners. It doesn't have to be this pretty if you do it yourself. Like, you don't have to decorate it. I just decided to because I'm extra like that. I don't know. So this is my attendance sheet. I do need to update this because we did change what I plan on doing for our schedule next year. But basically, I took the calendar out of Homeschool Planet because I still have a Homeschool Planet subscription. And I just copied their calendar out. So that's why all the red X's are in there. And I will just green highlight or green check mark the days that we do school and leave it like that. So this is our attendance sheet. Next, I have a list of curriculum choices, which I've already shown you this in a video. I will link it up above if you missed that. But I just have language arts, math, science, and social studies, and the curriculum that we plan on using. And on the bottom, I have a list for mini units that we plan on using. So I know we're using the Island Life in Pirates. That is going to be our summer mini unit, which I'm going to be doing a video soon on our summer school homeschool plans. And I also know we're going to be doing the Independence Day unit, which is their 4th of July. It's like a 5-lesson mini unit from Campfire curriculum that we also plan on using. So I have both of those kind of written in already. Next, I have a book tracker. I got this off of an Etsy store. Her name is Breezy O, I believe. I will link her store down below, and I will link the bundle that has this in it. This is a book tracker. So you would just put in the covers of the book that you read. I will also probably add another sheet after this that has the titles, authors, and publication dates, and the date started and date finished reading. Just in case any reviewers don't recognize the cover of the book, but I thought this was a cute visual recognition of what we have read over the year. So I have this book tracker. And then we get into the different months. So I pretty much set this up like I would a weekly planner. This is my title page. I got really into Procreate this past month. If you can't tell, I'm learning, but I'm really enjoying it. So each week, I just have a page like this that has a box for each day. And this is going to be more of a reverse planning thing for me, where I'm going to go in each day and write down what we learned instead of specifically what we are doing. So instead of writing down like we did math lesson page 19, it's going to be like we learned 5 multiplications, like we learned plus 5s. So that's what this plan is. And I have that for every single week of the month, as you can see. And then at the end of the month, I have a field trip page. Obviously, this won't be every month, but we do have a field trip planned in July. As I said, we're going to St. Augustine. So here I have a spot where we can write like who, what, where, when, why about St. Augustine, why we went, what happened there, etc., etc. And I also have spots for 3 pictures. These striped ones I again brought from Breezy O, her Etsy shop. I will also link that bundle. The blue one I actually made myself in Procreate. So I recommend learning to play with Procreate because you can do some pretty cool things. And then the next page in here, I have a happy memories page. I don't think this is necessarily essential for a portfolio or for an evaluator to see this, but I thought it'd be really fun to just put in pictures or maybe some quotes, some different things that just stood out to us throughout the month that were fun and enjoyable. So that is my happy memories page for January. And then we are on to August. As you can see, I started the cover page and nothing else. But essentially, this is what I plan on doing every month of the year. And the main bulk of the state requirements are going to be in the front. Again, where you have the curriculum list, you have the book list, you have the attendance. And then this is kind of like the teacher lesson plans, you know, activities completed, all that is kind of in here. So in these boxes, I would also write in any extracurriculars we did. So say my daughter had gymnastics, I would write that in. If she did a Girl Scouts event, because we are looking at enrolling her in Girl Scouts, I would write that in here. If she did a volunteer thing with church, I would write that in here. So that's my digital version of this and what. So at the end of the day, I decided to use the digital one. I'm sorry for the changes in voice. I forgot to start my microphone when I started filming the whole video, but then I had to use my microphone to film the voiceover for the digital part. So there's gonna be some changes in voice because right now my camera's recording me. Earlier my camera was recording me, and then when I was doing the voiceover, obviously my microphone was recording me. So womp womp, I meant to use my microphone the whole time, but I forgot to hit start. But yes, I plan on using the digital one because one, I can just PDF it and email it to an evaluator. Something I have noticed here and also where we might be moving, because we have been looking at different homeschool rules and regulations there. But I've learned that a lot of the evaluators are digital. They are not local. They don't want to meet with you locally. They don't want physical books. They want something digital that you can upload and send to them or email to them. So that made me lean toward digital after seeing the abundance of that. That might be a COVID thing. Not really sure. I think in Florida that's kind of not true anymore. But also I thought digital seemed like a better option because I can always have it. I can PDF it, I can save it to a thumb drive, I can whatever, and always have it. Oh, I forgot to tell you on the digital one how I plan on sewing her work. In GoodNotes, you can scan. So my plan is to scan the same work that I would normally upload or that I would normally take out and like spiralize or put in a binder. I plan on scanning it with my iPad and adding it to the end of the GoodNotes file. So I can print this out, spiral it, and give it to a reviewer if I want to. I can PDF it, I can save it forever on a thumb drive in my house for myself. And that is why I decided to do the digital one. I will also, at the end of this, attach my grade sheets, which are on Google Notes, which I can show you how I set that up too if you want to see it, but it was super simple. Yeah, that is basically it. I'm just going to do a simple digital. It's basically like making my own bullet journal, kind of just bullet journaling our portfolio and adding work at the end. And that is my plan for our kindergarten year portfolio. If you have any other ideas or if you realize that I'm forgetting something completely, please comment down below and let me know. If you are new, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, comment down below and introduce yourself. I love getting to know everyone. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed seeing my plan for our first homeschool portfolio. And I hope I will see you guys in my next video on Thursday. Bye y'all, or on Tuesday. I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Bye guys.